Because women always complain, right? It said like if a girl is not, I say it's levels to the wetness of women.
Yes.
Right? Every woman don't have the same level of wetness at their highest velocity. Just like every guy ain't gonna have the same size dick at their stiffness,
or
right?
their hardness, yes.
Right. So it's levels.
That's
but women
right.
tell me, no, if the woman's not turned. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm
that's
talking
not
about if you turn up to your highest velocity, 10 women in a room, it's gonna be levels to the wettery.
That's exactly true. Do you want to know why
Break it
that
down
is?
for him, please.
And
I'm right again.
I love that he's like naturally tantric.
I'm trying to tell you.
You got to come
God
to the
did
retreat.
something with me.
That's right. That's right. So every woman, so by looking at you, I would say you're a kapha. That means that. So, okay, so there's constitutions and there's even like in gym, there's like ESO, there's the 3 body types.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
So it's the same thing in like Indian philosophy and the Ayurvedic tradition. Deepak is, you know, big. And also Jay Shetty practiced.
I love Jay Shetty.
He was Ayurvedic. So, right, there is a philosophy of body types. So you'd be more kapha, which means you're more earth and water. So she's probably prone to be more wet. I can just kind of tell by
I could tell by women body types.
Yes.
So I know what you're saying.
And you can also tell by her skin.
And she's tall. A tall woman always got wet, good vagina.
Really?
I know
well,
that.
I didn't know that,
Yes.
but that now you're teaching me something.
Yep.
So, but typically, but it also has to do with your astrological sign too. And sometimes that makes a huge difference. So typically women who are earth signs, not always, but mostly, they tend to be more like this. Think of a tree, the earth, right? And so you know that's kind of they probably have the ability to create lubrication because they're so, you know, curvy, grounded. But water signs are always going to be more wet.
Makes
so
sense.
say if you're a Scorpio or you're a Cancer and you have that Cancer in your chart. So body type Cancer, she's probably more wet. Now your Leo could burn it up quick because you probably like, from looking at you, you like some passion in your sex.
Oh, yeah.
You like it to be, you know, maybe not like, I'm not saying 50 Shades of Grey is like a lame example, but you like a lot of that. You don't want just, sweet kisses and no, I can tell. So these type of women, your heat might burn up your water. So you got to kind of balance and play with that. And so for water signs, they're always going to be more wet. Fire signs, typically those women who are just like ripped, no fucking body fat. You're like, what the fuck is
Dried
this?
up down there.
Correct.
It's
Why?
dry.
Because they're fire.
Yeah.
So they're burning it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so them overly muscular girl, you be like, man, that pussy look like trash. I can look at a woman, like a woman got cankles, so they got them cankles because it's holding water. That pussy be wet. I know this. And
I never heard that.
Come
But
on,
We
man.
also
it's
talked
like
about the bigger women too.
That's
the big
true.
women got the most.
But
Break
the
that down.
misconception.
About the BBWs, break it down.
Yes. So people think that because, so we talk about in the Kama Sutra, there's size compatibility.
Yep.
So does size matter? Yes. It's about the size pairing. The pairing of the woman's yoni with the pairing of the lingam. There's 3 sizes for each, small, medium, large, if you will. They have us as animals, but they call the women's large an elephant, and I just can't do that.
Sounds about right.
At my retreat, we have fruits. So we have the kiwi, the mango, the papaya, small,
sweet.
medium, large.
Yeah.
For men, we have, depending on if it's GMO or not, we have the carrot, the banana, and the
You got
cucumber.
to keep it organic,
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. But whichever country I'm in, I'm like, damn, this is a GMO carrot. I need a small
we need to-
carrot. Give me like a
For
4
sure.
inch, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how we do it to do the pairing. Now, one of the biggest things that couples will tell me is, or men, they'll say, oh yeah, I always thought that if she was a big woman,
Right.
that meant she had a papaya yoni, like a
Right.
big yoni.
Right.
No. And also the other, if she's a small little, what do they call them, spinners or whatever, I don't know the words for them now.
Midgets. No, it's fine.
Yeah, the girls that are just thinking like you just flip
little
around.
fun toys, yeah.
They think, they have the tiny, tight. No. You can probably attest to
miss.
that,
Yeah, hit
right?
miss.
Yeah, so it doesn't always mean that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the bigger woman, for whatever reason, sometimes their yonis are actually kiwi or a mango.
Yeah.
And so the rule of thumb is, so you're obviously, in I'll tell you, in the Kama Sutra, you're a stallion. Stallion, right? So it's 9 inches and above is stallion.
Big dog.
Or cucumber, you need to be with someone for compatibility.
Yeah, because
you
everybody
wanna-
can't take all the greatness.
Thank you.
They want to fight me back. Let me get wild.
He can't be with a kiwi.
No.
So the rule of thumb is you can go across or just one under, but not diagonal.
Yeah.
Because imagine you're with a
Can't do
kiwi.
all that.
You're going to be able to go in this
Yeah,
much.
get out of here.
Even if you
hold
can
on,
go in.
hold on. It hurt. Get out.
Yeah, next.
I need to get wild. I need to go crazy in my.
So
and then think about it from the other standpoint.
Yeah.
You got a papaya. She's got
It's over with.
9 inches.
Yeah.
In from the entrance of the yoni to the cervix,
Yeah.
and then you have a
it's
little
over
tiny
with.
carrot.
Oh God,
Can
help
he
him.
feel it? No. Can she feel
Oh,
it?
Jesus.
No. Sexual compatibility. It's the first thing to go in marriage and in LTRs, long-term
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
you know how a lot of girls be like, "Oh, I just took his soul," or like, "He took my soul."
Yeah, or dickmatizing.
What does that mean? He
So-
took my soul.
pussy, like a pussy whipped or dickmatized, like.
Yeah, it's like sometimes like like
Just like
he
it
will,
was so
he
good,
will,
like-
he will
That they
like
just
go
stuck
down
with
on a
him.
guy and then like be like, "Oh," or like a guy would be like, "Oh, you just took my soul," or
Yeah.
something, right? Like
I've heard that, but I didn't really understand what they're meaning.
Like
Yeah.
they mean that it's
They're
like really good.
Yeah, like I do it all the time to women.
Okay.
I'm always referring to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, this is your
'Cause
show.
it's
Let's
true.
do it.
But I'm just saying though.
But you can talk about you.
Yeah,
But then you
the
only live
master
your
on it.
experience,
So
so yeah.
like, yeah, if I mess with a girl, especially if she likes sex, and she got the papaya that can handle this
Yes.
eggplant or the cucumber,
Yes.
it's gonna be, it's over. Because I'm gonna do it the way you're gonna worship me forever. Because you're gonna be chasing the rest of your life trying to find us again.
Trying to find, yeah.
Especially attached to them
You
motherfuckers
can't
with
find it.
attributes too. Come on.
I can attest to that.
See what I'm saying?
So
So that's what it is.
That's what it is. So
Yes.
you could also possibly do a mango.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, you
if
take
she
your
was
time.
mango, but papaya is probably good for you.
Yeah, I take a
too.
mango too. I could just,
Yeah, you
shaft
can
it a
do
little
it.
bit. Look, yeah,
little
you gotta
bit,
work your way.
But compatibility is mango, larger mangoes or papayas.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that. I was with someone at Barber for two and a half years. This guy had nothing, not a dime to his name.
Yep.
But the sex was,
That's
he
the
was,
one-
it
yeah,
was
it's one of
10
them-
inches
yeah.
and above.
Yeah, it's one of
girth
them
and
boom,
everything.
dick
I
slingers.
could never.
They're the deadliest
Dude,
ones.
I
That was
legitimately
my deadliest.
was
When I was
like,
broke.
I have to leave. He was coming to my retreats with me. I could not shake this
Couldn't
dude
shake you, bud.
because the dick was just so. Because
Shout out to him. What's his
my
name?
God.
Shout him out.
His name's Isaiah.
Isaiah.
He's in
you had
Vegas
to, you
now.
had to get seductress
So-
addicted, brother.
I
You
know,
a
it's a
legend.
thing.
He's a legend.
And he was 25. He's 15
A
years
monster.
younger than me.
Oh. He's a monster.
Now he's pushing 30, but
He was one of the ones.
And
See,
so
he
it's
took your
true.
soul.
I couldn't shake it. And all my friends, even Keith, was like, "What the are you doing with this
Yeah.
dude? He's not on your level." Like, and it took me 2.5 years to totally unfuck
2.5
myself.
years, and this is the, see what I'm saying? The
That's
power.
is there such a thing between like a soul connection to the intimate
I
connection?
think it was for us. It was like he was an Aquarius. I'm a Virgo, and so his water and my or his air, but it was like a good balance, and sexually we're just compatible.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm a mango. Like a mango, I'm between mango and papaya, I would
Yep.
say, because I could take him, and
Right.
it was good for me. And I'm like fighting that again. You're
Yeah.
like, because I was always telling him, this is so mean.
Gotta be real.
But like in the end, he liked the hose, and he was young, as
For
he
sure.
should. And I understood,
Yeah.
but we did have a love, and he wanted to, but he was like, I can't settle down for a while. I was like,
Yeah.
I know, but he's like, if you wait, I'm like, I can't wait, But anyways, in the end, I told him, listen, you might not be the 1% in life, sweetheart, but you're the 1% in
Yes.
your lingam.
That's
Because
true.
It's true.
Yes.
9 inches and over,
You
it's
1% and
1% of the
1%,
planet.
yeah.
And 10 or above, which was he was, it's like 0.1, and same as you.
I'm a 0.1, then a 0.1
You're
of
one
height,
of them
0.1 of
ones.
money. That's what I'm saying. Like, people get mad at me. Ain't my fault. God gave me 0.1 of every day, not 1%, 0.1. Being 6'6",
I'm
I'm 0.1%
too.
of human. Yes, you are. You know what I'm saying? But
You are.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
like,
that's right.
The money, everything.
You
Yes.
got it also. You're
Yeah.
the package. So women have to understand.
They got to
Right.
buy
And
down to the king.
What's your
Right?
How do you
sign? Are you a
explain
it
Leo?
to
You're
Libra.
You're a Libra. That's why you like aesthetics.
Come on now.
So I have 5 planets in Libra. I
Yeah.
understand. It's hard to make a decision for me sometimes.
Yeah.
It is. But for men, it's not as hard. But sometimes you guys get confused because you're always trying to balance it.
Everything,
You're trying
yeah.
to figure it out.
It's a lot.
So for you, women have to understand that he's going to be hard to nail down.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's a level of you that you want to dive deeper
sure.
into intimacy with
I'm
someone.
working on that.
You're working on it. Maybe you don't have it all out, but you
Yeah.
want to get there. So whoever you attract has to have a side that's open to spirituality.
Yeah.
And it's not her yoni that's going to hook you.
No
you
question.
do want her to be open so you guys can have sex.
For
That's
sure.
important. But it's going to be her heart, her ability to surrender, to take your lead,
She's
to
smart.
follow, all these things. And most women just want to say, I'm gonna bang him. I'm gonna
That
f his
ain't gonna
brains
work.
out, and he's never gonna
Yeah.
look at anything. Are you crazy?
Facts.
Like, do you know how many baddies I've seen just walking in and out of buildings?
Come
I'm like,
on now.
geez, man, I do not want to live
It's
here.
got to be mental, but that's
Yeah.
what I always tell too. It's
Yeah.
not about you
Facts.
having sex. Like again, going back, having sex and having intimacy, 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like I think what I've been telling a lot of my friends too.
Yes.
You have to talk to a man.
Yeah.
You have to understand
Learn
a man.
that man.
And every man is going to be different.
Yep.
You can't just say, oh, because I've heard he does this and that and that. It does like. him having a lot of women has nothing to do with who he is as a person, because people don't actually take time to get to know him.
To get to know who he
They,
is.
they hear about this 10-incher and all of that, but like if you actually get to know him,
no, I can tell he has.
But
He
it's
has
the
a lot of
surface.
depth.
there's a lot of
I
depth
see.
there.
I read energy over everything,
Yeah.
and I feel that he has a lot of depth. As do you. I think that for a lot of women, they probably perceive you as this playboy, this boy, because you fit the bill, if you will. Like me, they think that I'm because of how I look. A lot of people, guys, they won't want me on their podcast because of how I look, and I'm like, that's fine.
Right.
I don't go out. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't eat meat. I've never taken a drug. Like, I'm as the, like, I always tell people, I'm in my home all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm not in my home, I'm in some country hosting a retreat.
Come on now.
But people would look at me and think, oh, and I've been like with the same guy for a long time. Like, I don't look around. So people are going to think that about you. But in order to like really capture your heart, I think it's about a woman connecting with you emotionally, not just mentally, but also, and talking is good, but also listening. Because men sometimes don't want to talk.
Come on now.
They just want a woman who's there with him, who's present, who when he needs her support, not support financially, she can't do anything for him. Her yoni, it doesn't matter. It's just like, can she be there as the feminine nurturing energy if he needs
that
it?
counts, and they pay attention to those details, because you're saying it right, they're listening. And that goes back to when people say what they bring to the table. It's not what you bring to the table, it's what you bring to my table. See the things I don't have, or what you can add. That's the most important thing. The things I talk about, the things I need, the things I'm doing. If you're on top of that and you do those small things to a guy like me, it means everything.
Gonna be, you heard it here
the
first.
small things mean everything.
Listening.
Because I'm a attention to detail person.
Same.
And you did the same thing for me. You caught that? Oh, what?
And he's going to pick up on those cues, because you're very smart. I can tell. You're very mentally stimulated, but also emotionally and energetically, because you have the physical.
Right.
Of course, I think, and this is the thing I think in Miami a lot of times, women work so much on the physical. I want to have the best.
Everywhere, not just Miami. I feel like it's everywhere.
Miami.
On Instagram, you see everything is just how it looks good.
Aesthetics, especially Miami, especially LA. These are heavy ones, you know.
They don't work on their soul. They don't work on their energy.
I be saying
and
it all the time.
a man will take a 6 over a 10 any day, who will listen, who will serve, who will be submissive, who will surrender, who doesn't have to be right, whose ego's not on the fucking table, and who doesn't have to say, this is my table. It's just like, I'm happy to be here sitting at your table.
Oh, man, you hear this?
So how does
I'm trying to get this message out to
It's
these
tough,
women.
though. It's tough. They're not listening to the real and they always go for the aesthetics, and look where that got you. You might got this guy with all this stuff going on, but that's his stuff. They got nothing to do with you. You're not helping him in no way
I
in
always
life.
say that. His money is not your money. So it has nothing to do with it.
They don't care.
Right.
But that's another
what
thing.
The physical would get you is just him physical with you.
Right.
If you physically looking good, but you got no substance to it, you think I'm going to give you some of my substance that I worked my whole life for?
Right.
You're not getting none of that.
And also, I don't think another thing is like in these really money, it's very expensive here, because I'm like ordering food and I'm like, I was at Fresh.
Oh, it's no joke.
I was like, and I eat like very fucking clean. So I'm like an Erewhon girl, and Whole Foods is kind of bullshit now, but whatever. The organic market we have in RC, I do my best, or a farmer's market. So I'm like looking for vegan places with Fresh and Dom and stuff. And I was like, wait, I thought I like double tapped the vegan roll. And I was like, wait a minute.
It's serious.
And then Dom and Fresh are like, oh no, that's the price.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
are you f***ing serious?
That was no
I
joke.
was so pissed last night. I settled for a spicy lentil dal soup, which fucking was so good.